Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Let me tell you who's here today. Danny Hatch. How's it going, buddy?
Hello. Happy day.
Danny Hatch is the host of That's the Show with Danny.
The star, all would say.
Catherine Heller was on your latest show, Ghost Protocol. Catherine Heller joins the show once again for a spirited discussion about Ghost Com and the Olympics.
Look
Nothing
how
more
short
to
it
say
is,
about
Keith.
that.
Is there another sentence there?
Sure. He rates, remember when these descriptions used to be super long? Those were the days.
I've grown and changed, just like all.
Because it's too much work?
It's a lot of work.
No one appreciates it?
No one seems to get it.
Libby Phillips, how are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you.
Libby is the host of Wrap It Up, the new show on your VIP network that sums up what happened that week. Did we get anything?
In a mean way.
William Friedkin, by the way, he's the director of The Exorcist. We talked about him the last time Libby was on Keith and the Girl. Claims he videotaped a real exorcism. This was in June of this year. It is, what month are we on now?
August.
And he still didn't get that video out.
It's tough. It takes a long time to produce it.
Libby's new Wrap It Up show is episode 2, entitled Segment Heavy. On this episode, Libby is joined by guests Chris Daniels and Danny Hatch. We get to know Chris, cover Danny's embarrassing moments, and take our segment game to the next level. How many segments are in this show, Libby?
I haven't counted them yet, but there were 25 clips.
Okay.
My clips are second only to my segments.
When I first saw her today, she came into my house and was like, I took you down a peg on the show
Oh,
today.
she does. She loves it.
Oh,
Merciless. I'm standing up for you. When you listen back, no matter what I
Oh,
say,
you're not
just
laughing
know,
your ass off during the show?
just
Daniel
know-
Hatch?
no matter what my actions are, know that in my heart of hearts, I was standing up for you. Because I like you more than Libby likes you. And I should be more your favorite than Libby.
Well, we're going to find out on the show, and that'll probably be the poll. Which
Yeah.
one of you guys likes me more?
This was posted by Pooh Balls the other day. And Sir Pooh Balls says, what's up with Chemda? The phlegmy cough is getting more prevalent in each episode. It's worse than Libby's laughing.
Why she gets taken down a peg for my laugh?
It's really gross and distracting.
My gross and distracting cough is comparable to your joyous laughter.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Chemda wrote, yep, I'm sick. It was either go to work or cancel 2 shows. I thought doing this show would be best. I ended up going to the doctor after the show. You know how Chemda feels about doctors, how everybody feels about them. We'd rather die sometimes. More on that in the next episode. Well, let me tell you something. Yesterday and today, I had the flu. I'm shitting piss.
Aw, Keith.
Out of your butthole or out of your dick hole?
Are you okay?
I don't know where you guys shit, but this was out of my ass. When
Okay.
it's just like somebody opened up one of those fire hydrants.
Did it come out just like a straight, like it was like a hipster juice mix? Just green?
You guys, I know that you want this to be the best episode ever, but I don't know about this topic.
Now, go ahead, Chemda. I'm sure you had it worse.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't want to be dramatic on the forums. I didn't go to the doctor. I went to the hospital.
Okay.
So I did. I felt really yeah. I felt really shitty that morning. It was Wednesday when we record 2 episodes, Thursday and Friday's episode. And I was like, if I stay home today, that's 2 episodes. It fucking throws our schedule. Let me just get in there and try to, go through it. And I did. Sorry about that.
Go through what?
Poo.
Coughing?
Just not feeling my best, but going to work. I think we've all done that.
Oh, I thought you were
know?
saying going to the hospital. Go on.
No, I didn't think that I would have to go to any kind of hospital. I just thought I had like an annoying cough or something. But later on, I was having trouble breathing, and then I was wheezing. And then I thought, okay, last time this happened, I wheezed through the night, and it was not fun because it kind of brought on like what felt like panic attacks and stuff.
That's weird because it sounds like it'd be fun, but you say
So you don't like wheezing the juice?
Well, it is almost a manufactured panic attack because you can't breathe all night.
Exactly.
how long ago was this?
This was after the
January.
marathon, so like January, February.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I went to the doctor the next day, I went to emergency care that opens at 9 a.m. And all they did was give me a nebulizer, which means I'm breathing in a little bit of meds. Everything cleared up, and I was totally fine. So I thought, I have insurance now. And my insurance says I can call them, and they can prescribe things for me over the phone, which a nebulizer is nothing. They could probably send it to my insurance.
Is this an inhaler?
It's kind of like an inhaler, but it's
It like sprays mist, and you can have a mask, or sometimes like for babies, they'll just kind of spray it near their faces. They
Okay.
usually give it to little kids who can't like take medicine.
It nebulizes.
It's a gentle medicine.
Yeah, you're just breathing through a mask. So, but by the time I called the doctor, I was like, fuck, this doesn't sound good. Because I was like, I can't breathe a little bit.
See, now this is Chemda gave me a hard time because I was in Hawaii. I was drowning. But I don't want to ruin anybody's time, so I'm saying, I'm drowning over here. If you can do me a favor, and blah, blah, blah. And here's Chemda. I don't know if I can breathe too much.
It's weird you guys didn't work it out.
Well,
Your relationship. You have so many common similarities.
Yes. I was hoping that I could sound well enough that I don't have to go to a hospital because I know that's an all-night affair. I was hoping that he would just give me this nebulizer shit and we could move on. But he was like horrified. Horrified. He was like, I can't
Hear you.
I can't possibly be okay with diagnosing you over the phone when you sound like that. And I was like, sure. I'm like, I've had this before and it was fine.
Right.
My new addition to my deck, and my conscience needs you to come in person.
And he goes, please go to the hospital. And I'm like, fine. And he's like, are you going to go to the hospital?
No.
And he's questioning, I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, because it's very serious that you go to the hospital. I'm like, damn it, I think I have to go to the hospital. And
That's the first thing they check is like your breath.
breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it could sound scary. And so
I did notice that. The first thing doctors check is if you can talk to them.
It's like the ABCs and it's airway. That's like the first thing.
I know the first thing they check is the routing number. Am I right? I'm just adding some levity to this. This is a very tough time.
So I
Spoilers.
go.
Sorry.
So I get in a
Come to
cab.
Did
and
you
I-
really think Danny would be able to play it calm?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to just have fun.
Anyway, Chemda's dead.
She is, and we have the first hollow Chemda.
hologram me? Hello.
R.I.P. Chemda.
So
Oh.
I'm in the cab, and this is amazing. My insurance calls me and goes, we heard from the doctor that you called. He insists that you go to the hospital. We're making sure that you're on the way to the hospital.
Wow.
And in a like, but not in a threatening voice like I just did. Like
In a nice way.
in a nice way. And I was like, whoa, yeah, I'm in a cab right now. And they must have not believed me because they called the next day. They were like, did you go to the hospital? And I was like, yes, I did. Yes. I'm not thrilled about it, but I did.
So this is the emergency room. Because you can't just go to a hospital.
Yeah. The thing is I took the cab to the wrong place at first.
Well,
and
what's
then-
the wrong place? Any hospital.
Well, Lenox. I went to Lenox Hill, but apparently, you're Google mapping this, and it says Lenox Hill emergency. But the cab let me off, and I'm like, ugh, this is a long ramp for an emergency. I'm like, and I walk up and I go, I'm having trouble breathing. They're like, this is not the place you go. I'm like, okay, and I just turn away.
Back into New York City's atmosphere.
Yes,
Is it part of the hospital at least?
it is. But
Well,
I guess
nothing they
it's-
can do. If only
Right.
they had chairs. Like, picture this, a chair. But you know how you have rolling office chairs?
Uh-huh.
Like that. But like maybe just two big wheels on the side so it would move you faster.
Too far-fetched. I can't imagine.
like a wheel sort of chair.
Yes.
I'll tell them next time I'm there. So I started walking away. They did tell me that the hospital is 10 blocks away. And
Jesus.
yes, in my head, I'm like, can I walk? And then I'm like, no, stupid. No,
Treat
dumb.
yourself.
Yeah, you can't breathe. So I walk to the corner. I stop halfway. I walk to the corner. It was so sad. And then I take another fucking cab. And I get there. And I go, I can't. I'm having trouble breathing. And the guy goes, fill this out.
You don't come here. Go to the long ramp on the other side. I don't know why someone would tell you to come here.
Fill this out. And filling it out was just my name and like, did you leave the country? Do you think you have something?
Oh, shit.
Like, yeah, just
Zika.
Yeah. They were pretty much just checking for that with
Your
like,
head is small lately.
Yeah.
It's very shrunken.
no one ever says that in this room. Thank you. So there's that. And then you get moved to, the guy who checks you in, who checks your vitals and everything. What a fucking bitch this guy
Sure,
was.
it's a hospital.
What a dick. The most dismissive human being ever. So because his job is on repeat, he basically checks, a few vital signs and then checks you to the next room. He's so used to it. He just shoves things at me. And I'm like, I guess I should open my mouth now. He's like, it's a thermometer. And I'm like, ugh.
Right.
He goes, yeah, under your tongue. And I go, words would help, words.
I take my pants down, I show my asshole.
Right.
And then I say you should have been clearer.
And so then he takes my blood pressure, and I'm not a good blood pressure taker. So I start
You
wiggling.
think your
on
arm's
him.
going to fall off.
It freaks her out.
It totally freaks me out. So I start wiggling, and then I'm just like, it won't go away. Why isn't it stopping? It usually stops by now. And he like lets me freak out for a little while. And then
I'm sorry. She's flailing her arm. Like, what is
like,
this?
make it stop already, because it was going on forever.
Were you with her, Libby?
No, but I just know how she is.
Right.
It wasn't a wiggle. A
sorry,
wiggle
poo
implies a subtle movement. It was a flail.
She knows me
Continue.
well. That is very true. And so finally, after I do it for a while and I'm complaining, he goes, the more you move, the more it stays. And I'm like, no, I don't know that. And I won't know a lot of the stuff that you know.
And he's telling you, the more I'm going to teach you a lesson. I can be here all day squeezing your arm.
I think he was trying to wait and see how long she would
Yes.
go.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm starting to notice the woman who works next to him was looking over like, why is he being such a dick?
Okay.
Like she was kind of giving that. And I was like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. And then he goes, you have high blah, 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 blah. And I go, why would I know those words?
Right.
I go, I really legitimately don't understand what you just said. And he-
Secondly, you saw the way I was flailing my arms. Whatever you're talking about is going to be high. Are you nervous, ma'am? Because
yeah, so he doesn't respond to me. And the other woman who's been looking over is like, it means you have high oxygen. And I go, that's interesting. The end.
Right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah. High oxygen, so maybe you're breathing fine.
Right.
Did you think he was asking if you wanted to get high? And did you get excited for a second?
I couldn't hear him. That's another thing. He started talking, and I'm like, I'm not sure if you're talking to me. And he goes, when I look at you, it means I'm talking to you. And when I don't look at you, then I'm not. And I go, well, before when you weren't looking at me, you were still talking to me. So I'm not going to know these indications because I don't know you.
These people have to be rude to get the job. They have to be. You don't start. I tell you, I was a waiter. I was a waiter for many, many years. Never once did I didn't start like, please, I would like this job. Here's a resume. And then 10 years later, chicken soup is the only soup. If you have lobster crab. Yeah, that's why I said chicken soup's the only soup. No, you still talk nice. These people were born assholes.
I mean, in fairness to this guy, why didn't you just use all your extra oxygen to breathe easier?
That's true.
You know?
Well,
It's like she makes things so difficult.
I mean, I imagine some dum-dums are coming his way.
Right.
Just anticipate my shitty dumbness. I could be the dumbest person you ever met.
That's true. You still
Anticipate
deserve
that.
medical care. Yeah.
Right?
Good point. Okay, I'm back on your side.
Thank you.
Please, to fill out one of those medical forms to get insurance in the first place, you can't be an idiot.
All the check boxes. So then he gets up to go, and I think he says something under his breath, and I go, did you just say something to me? Am I following you? And he goes, well, I didn't say anything, but yeah, you could follow me.
Could I?
I'm glad I asked.
I'd follow him all day. All day. You have to go in this room now. No. I feel safe with you.
But I can't breathe.
It's worth it.
There's not many people I can follow.
I would
Power through, Chemda.
I would die right next to him.
I know I have all this oxygen, but I can't do it. So they put me on a bed, and I'm like, here's where I die, because because it's a room full of people hoping that somebody will see them. You know how hospitals are.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Turns out, shout out to Patrice at Lenox Hill Hospital. You are the nicest, most wonderful person. She took care of me. She saw that I was getting antsy when no one saw me. Hennessy, of course, met me there. And here's what a creep I am on the phone. So I'm just like, I text him. He's doing sound for one of our good buddies' shows, which I couldn't even attend because I can't breathe. So I'm like, hey, can you call me when you're done with the show? Casualness.
Right.
Because I don't want to be like, hey, I'm going to the hospital. Meet me there. And so I'm like, by the way, also, what's our insurance number? No big
Subtle.
deal. Smiley face. I'm trying to be so
Just
cool.
curious.
My friend wanted to know, and I'm zoning out.
And then when I know the show's over, I'm like, hey, is the show over? No big deal. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, meet me at the hospital. I'm going right now. I can't breathe.
Don't go to the big ramp.
Right. Abort. So he meets me there, of course. And this woman is so nice to me. She gets me the nebulizer, even though the doctor didn't see me. She's like, fuck it, I'll just give it to you. Because it's not going to hurt me anything. She gets me a second one when I want another one.
You got a hookup.
Yeah, she like brought me water. She made sure that people were coming to see me.
My God, this angel.
I
You should
know.
be on Oprah. That they should bring that show back to talk. She got you water.
I know.
I mean, what God's gift.
But she was really, really, really sweet, which I'm not used to, especially in these places. And finally the doctor came, and he was and super sweet, and he goes, okay, with this, the last time that you had this, did they take a lung x-ray? And I said no, and he looked horrified, but then tried to fix his face.
And that was before you had insurance, right? The last time this happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so
But they still would have been happy to charge her.
Yeah, just curious.
yeah. So, but I wasn't in a hospital. I was just in like an office. They
Right.
probably don't have that
Oh yeah,
equipment
they hate
there.
money there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have no idea how to rate a referral for $2,000 behind the scenes.
Yeah, but I didn't get that. And so where was? Oh yeah, so the doctor's like, we're just gonna get you a lung X-ray because sometimes this is because of an infection. So we're just gonna see if there's no infection.
It is funny though. You didn't. The fuck? Well, you know what we're gonna do?
Let's just do that then.
Yeah, yeah, it was totally like that. In all fairness, it was a decent poker face. I would like to play poker with him, but I was like, oh, it's not fair that I could see right through you because you're being a really decent guy about this. Very calm, very cool, whatever. Goes get the x-rays, come back again with his wonderful poker face, and I'm like, fuck, this is a poker face with results. And I'm like, all right, what is it? And he goes, well, this could be common, but there's a mass. Well, no, he goes, there's trouble. It could be a lot of different things. We're going to get a CAT scan. Got to get a CAT scan, went and did that, and then you got to wait like over an hour. First, you got to wait 40 minutes to get the CAT scan when you know something's wrong on your lungs. And right away, I'm just like, I've lived a good life. Let's see, I'm 40, did a lot. My 20s was singing, my 30s was comedy. That's a lot.
Do you really think you're dying?
I thought this could be anything. I don't like his face, even though he's being really, really sweet.
Are you used to doctors being like this? Like I had a liver abscess. First thing the one doctor said, so I forget what the word was, but it's related to cancer. Then I go, so that's cancer then, right? He goes, yeah, but you know what? I shouldn't have said anything. It could be anything.
This guy was not saying that kind of stuff, and that almost freaked me out more.
He said there's trouble. That's actually what he
No,
said. There's
no.
trouble.
You have an ouchie. Now, it could be many, many things.
Something's fucked up in you. We're going to do a CAT scan.
He saw something irregular. He can't tell what it is.
Something irregular, okay.
He's going to have to go through a CAT scan.
I typed into WebMD. I don't know if it's the gout, but it could be many things.
Well, I spoiled it. The CAT scan showed a massive mass, the size of a grapefruit, but they still don't know what that is. So
Where's the mass?
the mass is between my heart and my lungs, and it's pushing my heart and my lungs. This is so weird to say. It's pushing my heart and my lungs, but it's not interfering with anything else, which I know is weird that it's like, but it's not pushing on anything. It's not doing anything but pushing my heart and lungs. But it is doing that, which is probably why I couldn't run the other day in running club. I was like, I can't catch my breath. I don't get it. I'm in good shape. And they're like, you haven't run in a while.
I was like, this is only your second time running. Just keep running with us.
But do you ever notice, though, everything is the size of a grapefruit? It's not the size
You're
of
not buying it?
It's not the size of an apple. It's not half a watermelon. Everything's always the grapefruit. And you wouldn't notice if a grapefruit was inside you.
Yeah, well.
They're pretty big grapefruits. I don't know if you've seen a grapefruit. They're pretty big.
It's very big. So I would notice if a grapefruit was in me.
You might not notice until it gets the size of a grapefruit. It didn't just come from nowhere. It didn't, didn't start as a grapefruit.
How well do you chew your food? Maybe could this be the
Maybe
issue?
it's a grapefruit.
Did you swallow a whole grapefruit?
Well,
we think that she swallowed a seed. That's one of our working theories.
Right, that's right. When the doctor told you it was a mass, were you like, I'm Jewish, it's a temple?
like my body.
Now, when you say, what does that mean, a mass? I'm picturing some kind of jelly-like thing.
I don't really understand it fully. I know that a mass is attributed to cancer.
Well, they don't know what it's made of, right? Like
Right.
That's what the biopsy's for.
Yeah, so he said,
Oh, it could be made of like Tylenol.
yes,
Or an
be
actual
helpful.
grapefruit.
yes, I could be having the best fruit ever in a month or 2 months or something.
A plant has grown in a man's lung before, so
She
I'm
watches
not
too much
ruling
TV.
out the
Wait.
grapefruit theory.
When is a plant grown in a man's
Google
lung?
it.
All right, asked and answered.
So it could be solid, it could be fluid-filled, and it could be the same thing as a tumor, right?
Yeah, well, they didn't want to tell me all this stuff. What they wanted to say is that it could be benign, it could be lymphoma, and it could be So if it's lymphoma, I got to get
Chemo.
And if it's the other stuff, then I have to remove it. Either way, I'm about to go through something. He's like, tell your work. I'm like, I'm a podcaster. They're like, really? I'm like,
You only work an hour a day?
I'm like, yeah, it's a comedy show. This is going to be hilarious. So I
By
don't.
the way, I'm sorry. So I'm looking it up. A mass is the same as a tumor, and it could take any shape and is usually not round. Most grapefruits are round.
You don't know that it's not round.
They're saying usually it's not, and I keep hearing everything compared to grapefruits in general.
You saw a picture of it, right? You
I
saw
saw.
the scan. What shape was it?
The problem with seeing it is that they're like, you see this side of your lung, it's supposed to look like this side, and it looked nothing like it.
It's squishing it, right?
This side is clear. The other side has a bunch of shit in there that will have to be removed, and it's pushing on my lung, and it's pushing on my heart. It did not get through to my lung. It didn't get through to my heart. And the positive thing is...
Wait, what do you mean? It's pushing.
It's not leaking. It's
Okay.
just like it's in there and it's pushing things out of the way, but it's not actually like leaking into the hearts or lungs.
That's scary because
the one heart.
I had a grapefruit in my fridge and I'm shoving food in it, and this will squish all over.
Yeah.
So we got to take care of this fast.
Exactly, yeah. So this is...
Quit trying to poke holes in my grapefruit theory. We won't know until they take it out.
Why don't you just eat the grapefruit? What's the
Yeah.
problem here? I don't.
Just
Well,
keep swallowing.
Yeah.
I promised I would never be on that kind of diet again. Well, I didn't really know what to do because, you start crying anyway.
Right.
Because you're like, there's all bunch of good news. They're like, your body is awesome.
Because of the running. You're welcome.
Because I ran twice this year. They said that everything else in my body looks good. So that'll help fight whatever the fuck they're about to do, which they don't even know.
Did they say to take a biopsy that day?
Yeah, they said they need a biopsy as soon as possible.
Okay. Do you go, how about now? We're in a hospital.
We did say that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And?
No, you have to schedule it.
We easily get another $500 you just showing up again.
No, they did say that they're not, like, that's the good news is if they thought like at any minute this would just move into all the parts of my body, or if it was like that much of an emergency, they would absolutely move up the scheduling.
What is a biopsy? What do they do?
They go in, they take a piece of it.
With a needle
Yeah.
inside your body.
Yep.
Why can't they do that right then? There's no excuse.
They were out of needles.
They need I need to block 5 hours of my life for this.
And you're probably not supposed to eat before it.
Yeah.
Do they put you under? Like,
Yeah. So depending on how serious it is or how much they have to go, and they're not equipped. It's 4:00 in the morning at this point. They need for someone else to look at it, like the next higher up, to look at it.
And it's nighttime, so they have to be sleeping. What are you going to do at nighttime? I know many.
Well, sickness always rests at nighttime as
Right.
well. So,
Well, they have to see what kind of biopsy.
Fuck
they're going
them.
to do.
Fuck hospitals. But go on.
They were really super nice to me. I've never been treated so nice.
They gave
at
you
a place like
water and. There's so much. I had a great doctor's assistant once. He charged my phone. Can't get over it. Joshua. I mean, who gives somebody's polite and they're angels.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I feel you, but I was really grateful to have that because I knew that the other would just drive me crazy. So he's telling me news, and I'm like, I'm crying right now, but I'm fully listening to you. And they're like, yeah, cry, everyone cry, it's totally fine. So it's scheduled for Thursday, the biopsy. Yeah. I thought like, hey, if I have to live with one lung, like people do that, I don't know. I've known people who could do this, and then I realized, wait a minute, we're leaving this hospital. Munchkin Face has not cried yet. And I'm like, there's no way he's not fucking freaking out.
This is your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, shit. This whole time he's doing brave face. And I'm like, oh, this poor fucking dude.
Do you feel rude?
Well, I look at him and I go, you can cry, right? And it was such a Goodwill Hunting thing. I was like, he just looks at me like, and I'm just like, you can cry. It's okay. I already cried. It's your turn to cry. Just like, you can cry. And just until he's like, and just sobbing in my arms. I'm just like, it's fine.
It's like Goodwill Hunting. He was putting cigarettes on himself to keep from crying.
Chemda was putting them in her lungs to keep from feeling. And now look what we've come to.
So now,
So the biopsy's going to take about a week, I'm sure. God forbid you find the results that day.
Oh, yeah. So Thursday is my biopsy. That's going to be a bummer. And then I have to wait 5 to 7 days, which is probably business days because,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Ma'am, nights and weekends.
Government holidays.
I don't fucking
We
know.
have a family, too.
Emmy made the point that you find out if you have AIDS in 5 minutes now.
Right. I was like, oh, yeah. But you don't have to go inside your, I guess, I don't know. And I missed Marsha Belsky's EP release.
Which is the real tragedy.
Right. That fucking sucked.
Will she understand?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to her yet. I legitimately did not answer an email in the last couple days. I was like, I think I got an out.
Yeah, milk
okay.
it.
And now I'm worried I'm going to get a ton of emails. And then I started telling people. And I'm just like, okay, how do I tell people? And I can't tell if I'm the worst or the best at this. So the first person is, actually, the first person was you, Keith.
That's right.
I called you up because I was like, Keith is going to joke this away. It's going to be fine. I'm just going to tell him. And you reacted exactly like I thought you would. Here are people's responses. Are you ready?
Oh, my God. Now I hope
This
it's
has
cancer.
all the
You
makings
monster.
of a segment.
All right, Keith. Keith laughed it off, basically. And it was, I think we did like a 10-minute show over the phone, and we were very sad we didn't record it.
Oh, you should know better. Come
I know.
on.
That was sad. Michael cried, then was surprised that we can laugh again that night, the same night.
It's like 9/11.
Danny said, I'm sorry to everything I said.
It was my fault.
Is that the hardest part, like, out of all of this, is you have to calm down Danny? Tell him
Well,
it's okay.
Danny got hysterical.
Here's why I feel bad, because I read a magazine article that said a grapefruit a day keeps the doctor away. So I kept pushing this on Chemda. You've got to eat the grapefruit. You've got to eat the grapefruit. Did you eat your grapefruit that day? And it turns out it doesn't keep the doctors away. It
Just
brings
keep
more.
running.
Xerxes, which all of this I totally expected from everybody. Xerxes was like, okay. Okay. And I was like, yep. And then this. And he's like, I'm totally here for you. At the end of everybody's response, everybody said, totally here for you. Anything you need, please don't, hesitate. I really want to help. Like
Ooh, I
everyone
didn't
was
say
like that.
any of this.
He could have gotten away with it, Danny. The listeners don't know.
Libby and Emmy started planning my funeral and how this could benefit them. It was quite interesting. They think they can go to Beyonce concerts now for free.
We're going to make lemonade out of these lemons.
I'm like their Make-A-Wish entrance or something.
But that's what they do. You grant wishes to the friends.
It's a new program they're
Well,
trying out.
she gets a whole night, we'll make a night of it. Like,
I see.
so we're going to splice together some footage of her like singing at her best. And then we're going to like make her sing. Now just keep this between us though, but we're going to make her sing now where she like can't really get it out. And then that'll be like, sepia toned. And then I forget Emmy's the master planner, but basically that equals Beyonce tickets. And then
Well, I had to start writing this shit down because they were fucking bitches about this. Emmy goes, cash in. This is the end. She was thrilled for me that I didn't have to be nice to anybody anymore ever.
Emmy's living vicariously through her. Also, you're doing her a huge solid because she can use this to get out
Wait,
of work.
has Emmy had cancer her whole life, Ben? Or she's never been nice to anyone ever. Or a mess, I'm sorry.
It is a shame that the original cast of Hamilton's gone.
Oh, but I think we should still make it a point to go to Hamilton.
I
I
see.
did mention Hamilton already, but good looking out.
Chemda's favorite.
They were coaching me on how to sing it.
Oh, yeah, because she knows the song. So, like, we just got to start with the footage, and then it's going to write itself.
Yeah,
But
I have to
continue.
be this amount of sad with this amount of sin. It was amazing.
And it doesn't matter that she's not a good actress because it's all in the editing anyways.
All nice shit. They started making me a bucket list that only benefited them.
Of course. This is the Make a Bitch's Wish Foundation.
Yeah. They started calling dibs on my shit while shitting on my shit.
I get the bike.
Yeah. They were like, so
the piece of
Emmy
shit
goes,
bike?
oh, I want some of your shit. And Libby goes, like what? Her wardrobe? What do you want from in there? Like just,
I mean, that's a good point.
I don't know. Emmy, what did you actually end up wanting?
The chalkboard wall.
The projector.
projector.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Meanwhile, Hennessy's like, I'm still alive.
He's not going to want to watch TV. He'll be devastated.
Right,
Exactly.
Sure. And then they requested a funeral on Maui.
A destination funeral.
Excuse me.
Did you guys catch that, by the way?
What?
Danny just now?
I feel bad.
What?
He's not going to watch TV because you're going to be dead. Oh, I'm a piece of shit.
Because, like, what are you supposed to do? He's supposed to be respectful of his situation or make jokes, but then you make jokes and it's like, but he's listening to this and he's like, I'm sorry.
I said
this is-
R.I.P. Chemda earlier, and he said, "Aw, that's your joke."
It's sad. I hate when,
It didn't take. So I took Danny on a walk before.
Yeah, they were all so eager to get me to come on this walk with them. I should have known
love
something was
you.
up.
Actually, we were like, "Hey, Danny, want to go to Starbucks with us?" And he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
I had to
And-
finish work.
Yeah,
And Emmy was like, no, you're coming.
yeah. Emmy's like, "Why do you think you have a choice?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know I could say shit like that." But apparently, I can now.
Emmy's like, dum dum. When are you ever asked to come to Starbucks right before a show?
Yeah, there was a lot of that. I'm like, "Hey, casual friend.
Right.
Hey, want to do this casual thing
Shall
with
we
me?"
take a walk together?
Yeah.
Well, you blindsided me. I had no idea what was coming.
I know. I did feel like I blindsided people. So,
Well,
Danny,
not in the
switch
bad
with-
way. I'm saying just, you did good, kid.
Did I? How did I do?
Well, whenever you got him the most expensive coffee, he was waiting to be
Very
fired.
thrilled. You had me talk. You tricked me into talking about me for like 2 minutes. You were like, "How was your weekend?" And I'm going off, and then you're like, "Okay, well, I have something to tell you." And now I'm like, "Well, I just complained about my shit for 2 whole minutes." Anyway, I have asshole cancer.
Everyone's
me
trying
a
to
wish.
one up me. Well, Michael, I told, and I don't think I was very subtle about it because I'm like, "What you doing right now?" in text, and he's like, "Oh, just doing work," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, when you're done with your work, why don't we get on a call?" How was that for you?
I saw the text and I'm thinking, okay, but maybe we should just see in person. Do you want to just meet in person?
And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make him come all the way over here to bum him out," and I'm like,
What a hassle.
like I'm kind of out of it, so it's not gonna because I could picture it. He's like hanging out with my sister. He brings beers over, and I'm like, "I just want to tell you that I might have cancer." And so I'm like, "You can totally come over," but I'm kind of out of it, so I don't know how much fun I'll be. Meanwhile, what's happening behind my back is Hennessy is writing to him like, "Come over to your sister's house tonight. Bring Maricela. She's got to tell you something."
When you keep saying it might be cancer, if this is and doctors are idiots, and I was saying this to you over the phone. And by the way, when it finds out you do have cancer, I'll quit saying doctors are idiots. We'll pretend you have a chance, but ahead of time, I don't know until there's this biopsy, or is there a mass and you do already know you do have cancer?
But they don't know.
It could be benign, meaning it could be harmless. It's just not supposed to be in there, so they'll take it out, and that's it. But there won't be anything lingering. She wouldn't have to have chemo necessarily.
But we still use the word benign when you can't breathe.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
All
right.
okay. So imagine like you have an extra organ that's
Right.
just not. It's.
I kind of
it's-
do downstairs,
You have the double penis? Wow.
but in one.
But it's self-contained, right? So the hope is that this thing is self-contained and just pushing up against
Right.
other things, but it is self-contained and not really attached to anything. Through the CAT scan, the resolution on it, they weren't able to really see what's happening, but they don't see tentacles or roots, and that's
Yeah. That's a positive
good
So
thing.
it's not your twin? So
Right.
there's no chance it's your twin?
Yeah.
Although it could be benign with teeth and hair in it, like some of the cancers actually grow hair follicles.
I
and
love some
weird-
of the stuff that people have been telling me about my possible tumor.
Well, if I'm just going to abort an actual baby, this one doesn't have a chance.
Well, so they're talking behind my back, right?
Yeah, so I'm getting this before I get a chance to answer you. You're saying, "Oh, yeah, totally cool." But I'm feeling under the weather or something. Then Lauren Hennessy sends me a text, and he's like, "Chemda totally wants you to come over, but she just doesn't want to put you out or something." I'm
Okay.
Like, okay. All right. So yeah, I'll be there. And then I still don't get the gravity of the situation. I just know something's up, and you want to talk. Like, when does Chemda just say, like, "No"? You started off with like, "What are you doing right now? What are you working on right now?" Like striking up a casual
I'm so
conversation.
cash. Meanwhile, we don't talk like that to each other. We're like, "What's up, fuckface?"
Or you just call me.
Right,
it's not
right,
like
right.
you said you want to call me when you're done with work later tonight. I'm like, what?
I don't want to interrupt anybody.
You're such an imposition.
I know.
And then how does she say it?
So then Hennessy said, okay, well, so I said, so is everything okay though? Because what was Hennessy saying?
Right.
Yeah, come over. So then Hennessy says, Chemda needs a biopsy. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, you need a biopsy. This is probably a false alarm because oftentimes when you get a mammogram, like a lot of the criticism in terms of getting a mammogram early is that you're going to get too many false alarms, you're going to get too many biopsies, and it's going to be counterproductive to your health. So I'm thinking of something on that level, like, okay, yeah, we'll just be there supportive. You're going to go in there, it's going to be a false alarm, and And that's it. And then Marcella comes with me, and we go. I bring my beers, and
I told you.
Didn't slow him down.
Nope.
I think, yeah, this is fine. We'll be fine. What could this be?
Let's
Right.
order
Be
Chinese
anything.
food.
Yeah.
I already pre-gamed. What's up?
Oh, the annoying cop.
Yeah.
We get it.
Don't mind that, you guys. How was your weekend? So when I said it, oh my God, I don't know. See, I never know what to start with. I'm like,
Yeah, was there preamble? Did you make chit chat? Were you
How-
like, how's your weekend?
how did I do?
I think it started off that way, but then we're like, okay, so we're here to hear this. I already know that okay, so what is this biopsy that you need to take? And then you're like, so I have a mass the size of a grapefruit, and it's it's here, and I'm like, what? Hold on a second. And you're just like going on because this is you know what you want to say, and you're just saying this, and I'm thinking,
I'm probably trying to say it as quickly as possible so I can get to as much as possible so you don't have to like sit with any of it. Because I had to wait in between things and it sucked.
Okay, the good news is somebody gave me water this weekend.
So the medical profession is phenomenal.
that was part of it though. I went to a good hospital. I'm at a good hospital. They
Yeah.
did treat me right, except for that one fuckface.
Yeah.
And you're sort of rattling through this, which is good because that did help. But I'm like, pause for a second. What are we talking about here? Like, there's, this is real. This isn't a false alarm. There is really something in there. Like what you said. At best case scenario, she's still being sliced open, and this thing is getting pulled out of you, which is still serious news. This is not good. This is not like you're just doing a needle. It comes out benign and everything's okay. Like,
No, the doctor
there's
said I definitely will have to go through something.
No, but I'm thinking if this is a false alarm in terms of like what breast cancer or something, you do a biopsy, there is no cancer. They were wrong about what they saw in the mammogram, and then it's over. So it's like that's it. But here,
So he hangs his head and cries.
Pussy.
That's what Emmy said.
What?
Called him a pussy.
Yeah, but I was like, "Ooh, I did this to my brother. Fuck!" And then we just talked. more.
Does any part of you not feel bad because he attempted suicide? It made you cry.
Oh, I heard that at the end.
Yeah, I was making fun of him at the end. I'm like, "It's my turn to make you feel like shit and come visit me in the hospital."
But I made it through, and so it's only fair that you then make
Right.
it through.
Yeah, fair is fair, Chemda.
But the cutest part was that through the evening, of course, we're talking about other things, and we're laughing about things, and he pauses and he goes, "Can you believe, like, an hour ago, I was crying, and now we're just laughing at regular shit." And I'm
We
like-
really are a bipolar family.
he was just surprised that we could just...
Well, it's retarded. It's completely retarded. We're talking about this
You're
life
not
or
allowed
death
to say that
situation.
anymore, even though I'm dying.
It was
I'm
a
sorry.
totally.
If anything's retarded, this situation was retarded.
It was a very.
Well, no, I wish it was retarding,
It's hella
but
gay,
it's not.
but it's not retarded.
It's a mentally challenged situation. That's all
you.
you're saying.
This is the accurate definition of the word. And it's just wild that we're talking about you needing to have this mass, this maybe twin inside you, or grapefruit, and then we're talking about Black Lives Matter or something afterwards, like nothing.
Because
Like,
they
it-
matter.
right.
I keep telling you.
And that just gets you laughing. Sarah's writing in from Syracuse. I've listened to all of Keith and the Girls 11 years. Since your website was nothing more than an iPod. Chemda has a mass in her lung. I literally watched my mom die over 15 months from lung cancer just last year. Well, ignore that part. The point she's
Cool
making
comment.
is the depression kept me hooked, but hearing this, I'm quitting smoking cigarettes right the fuck now.
Good.
So there you go.
That's fine.
You will die in 15 months, but this woman is quitting cigarettes.
Right.
You did some good.
It's
But-
not. It has nothing to do with my lungs.
Yeah, don't get her wrong. She could still smoke.
Oh,
It's
smoke
not-
up.
This has nothing to do with smoking.
I mean, it's not in my lungs. It's pushing on my lungs, but it's not a lung thing.
It's
Does that
not
make sense?
in the lungs.
Yeah.
It's outside.
Would it help you to start smoking? And that fills up your lungs and pushes back. Huh?
I mean, I think I've been trying that, so I guess no.
Well, what we're hoping for here mostly is that you have one of those Quincy Jones cancers, that comedian that was on, and not
So
one
I
of
can
those.
get my half-hour special.
Well, you don't want one of those Eric Bergstrom cancers. Some cancers are so much worse than the other. One cancer you can party and drink apparently in chemo. The other what is chemo, by the way? Is it a drink? Is it you're under a heat lamp of sorts?
No, it's an IV.
It's an IV.
Poison. It's basically
Yeah.
poisoning.
Don't take
trying
that.
To kill.
No.
It kills the cancer.
I called the right person first.
Yeah.
I practiced on him.
Also, I say go for an hour. Don't sell yourself short. Half hour.
You guys are gonna have to help me write a whole hour. I mean, or I could just talk about this because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, you get them crying for a good 20 minutes. It's not a full hour. A commercial and you're done.
Well, it'll be 40 minutes.
Right.
But
No, I don't like this poison. Only good poison is the band.
what do you suggest we do?
You talk it out. Chemda says
You want to therapize the mass?
that everybody can be talked to. And, you know her theory on don't beat bad kids. You sit them down, talk. That's how we deal with this tumor.
Take a time out, tumor.
Yeah.
Tumor.
You're going into the corner, you know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if that's
It's
the
already
liver.
in the corner of her fucking body. We don't want that. Get it out of there.
Well, so let's hear your stupid ideas about how I could milk this.
We're going to get John Ellen. We're going to get Hamilton tickets. We're going to get Beyonce's show. Any other requests? Now's the time. Nothing?
Death Cab for Cutie ticket.
Oh, see, Danny's getting into the spirit. Death Cab for Cutie.
She's going to want to die.
Also, she can milk it. She can be as mean as she wants. Tell everyone to fuck off. Use the cancer card. Do whatever you want.
Well,
Live it up.
do you have to go to the hospital in Lenox? Maybe there are hospitals in Hawaii that you can go to. Or maybe there's a hospital, in Los Angeles that I hear the doctors are really good on the West Coast. You could relax while you're recovering.
I'm into it. I'm worried about, because they told me to warn my work. I'm like, fucking how much time will I have to take off?
She told me, she's like, there. I told my work. Spread the news.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Libby, this is happening.
Yeah, some I don't know if this will make sense, but somebody sent us somebody that we know some I don't know petty bitchy letter complaining about something, and then Chemda's finding out she has a tumor, and she's just like, you know what, sit down, little baby. This is what I have time for nowadays.
Actually, the most hilarious things started coming in while I was on my way to the hospital. And Danny, everything's fine. But what's funny is he goes, "Did you see that someone on Twitter? He sent me a screen cap. This person was like, I used the KATG code for Vistaprint, but I should have used @Chris Gethard because I never got my berries for winning some sort of contest." And he's like, I don't know what you want to do with this now. So I'm wheezing in the cab, writing back to this Twitter like, hey, I don't know why you never got your gift certificate. But, I didn't have to text talk it, so it's fine. I'm like, I don't know why. You could email me or I'll email you, however you want to do it, but I will get that to you whenever you want.
Right, we'll get you your berries. Just tell us, hey, you didn't get your berries. The fuck?
I
Because
don't have
fuck you,
berries.
we didn't want you to have them.
I have the certificate.
It's a good work ethic that you have.
Yeah.
Well, because my big fear about this, I understand that, at some point, I kind of thought I would have to go through this at some point. Everybody, has their chance to get cancer. And so I just don't want to come back to, build my career again because I took time off. So
Hey, I have a thing. If you miss a tweet or two during this time, I think that's okay. The people will understand.
That's the
Pooh
best-
Balls can go fuck himself. It's quite all right.
I do when I try to complain about customer service. I go right on Twitter, and I subtext these people, whatever they call it, subtweets. What's great about this, though, for everybody else, is that I read 1 in 5 people get cancer. So now that we know Chemda, our chances are lower. So I know Chemda. I know my buddy Elvis had leukemia. So if you have cancer, please tell me. Let me know. We'll hang out a couple times, and I'll be saved.
Thanks
I
for
don't
taking
have-
on for the team.
if I don't have cancer, though, you guys are going to be really bummed now.
It's not sounding good.
You're
that-
rooting for cancer.
Right.
Benign, of course. Before,
Right,
but-
right.
Well, so here's another thing. Of course, I don't know how Hennessy's going through it. And I, of course, I'm worried about him because he's going to, be such a good boy. And, I got everything. He's like, I already ordered you some stuff that I read that would be good in biopsy. Before and after the biopsy, we'll rub you with it or whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm just like, that's great. That's great. Everything's great. I looked it up. This isn't that big a deal. I'm like, it is a big deal. It's okay that it's a big deal. And so he's looking for the bright side. And I'm just like, we don't even know if we need to look for a bright side yet. We have enough information right now. And he's like, no, I got to look it up and, all this stuff.
Right.
And He's just going through it.
Is he doing the WebMD disaster?
He's doing a lot. I am opting out of that stuff. I don't want to know more than I know, because the more that,
Go
Michael
to Yahoo Answers. They have ideas.
When I called Michael and when I called Andrew, we got on conference with Michael, and then I was like, fuck, I don't know which one of you is talking. I can't tell the difference between the two of you.
They sound alike, right? I was
They do.
talking to Chemda's brother Andrew, thinking I was talking to Michael. And so we just talking, we're chit-chatting, and then whatever I say, Andrew realizes what's going on. He goes, 5 minutes went by. He's like, you didn't try to talk to me, did you? Like, yeah. Then why are you asking me about your website? I mean, like, what do you do with your website and my website? And click, jump out a window. Yeah, if you can't even tell, of course I can't tell.
I couldn't up front, because what I thought Andrew was talking to him. Like, wait, Michael just talked. I'm like, okay, I got to tell the difference between you guys first before you go into it. But wait, why was I bringing this up? Because during this call, like, I know people are going to say weird shit to me at one point or another with great intentions. They're like, well, what if the biopsy goes wrong? They can't just be poking around with you. Like, are you confident that these people know how to do a biopsy right? I'm just like, well, I'm going to a good doctor, and I think I'm just going to have to trust that they're going to find their way into the part without poking other things. You're like, yeah, good point. Okay.
So I was on the call before we joined you in. So after you spoke with Andrew, he called me and we were talking about it. And one of the things we were talking about was a friend of his had a relative of his had cancer. They were about to go in and do a biopsy, but then they got a second opinion, and that second opinion said, no, don't disturb it, because it's like dandelion seeds. If you poke a cancer and it just sort of unravels, or this sort of shell around it unravels, then or you leave a little bit out, then it gets in your blood, and then it goes to other parts of your body. They said, let's look at it from the outside. They found out, okay, we should just take it out as is in its protective shell. And that's why he was thinking, like, well, what if they do this? And then he realized, you know what? He's not going to change your doctors. He's not going to. I heard the change in tone from before, because we were both thinking about that, because cancer could be brutal like that. If it gets in your blood, then it gets to root anywhere it wants in your body. All of a sudden you get in your liver. Sorry,
this is a specialist, though, that your doctor is, right? Isn't he like the head of the
department? They're all going to be specialists. They're not going to be my brothers poking at my fucking lungs. Right. Like, I don't know how to respond to this. Yeah, they can fuck up, guys.
Maricella's real good at looking stuff up. Can she do it?
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I get it. I know you guys are worried. They're doing it in a scan, like they're actually monitoring it like a robot, going in and watching where the needle is going underneath. You're
in the CT, you're in the CAT scan or in another thing where they could see through and watch the needle go through.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to trust that they're not popping me like a balloon.
Why have a biopsy? This thing is hair. It seems we're saying that it's a fact.
You treat it differently depending on what it's made out of.
Yeah, so they can't go in and take it out because it might be something that needs chemo. So they'll be going in.
Sometimes you shrink it and then you take it out. It just depends on what it is.
Yeah, right. And when they take it out, I might still have to have not chemo, but what's the
radiation?
Radiation.
That's cool, like Spider-Man. All right. I
see. This is why I called Keith.
He'll be the 17th member of Suicide Squad.
Danny will be psyched.
Hey, Hennessy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great.
Well, we got news for you.
Hi, Land.
So, yeah, I did look up a bunch of information on what this could be. And with the information that we do know,
is it because you used to have a microwave? I heard about these.
Listen, the pain didn't start happening until we got a microwave. So,
so what'd you say?
Anyway, the doctor that's working on her, I just want to say, is the leading doctor in this field. He's a leading surgeon. He's med school.
He went to med school. This is great.
This guy, he developed a whole robotic surgery. He's one of the best in the country for thoracic surgery. So I trust him, you know.
Okay.
Also, you know, they looked at her lymph nodes in the CAT scan, and they said it doesn't look like it's spread to any other part of your body. It's not in your lymph nodes. which is good. So that, it has been growing there for at least a year now, at least. So it's probably not lymphoma.
See,
and then I talked to a nurse friend of mine who said that, benign tumors are pretty common. They're more common than malignant ones.
This isn't looking good for
I'm just adding up
those.
the numbers. I'm not seeing the silver lining. I'm just seeing the facts that it's more positive than negative for now, until we do get the biopsy.
It doesn't sound good for these Beyonce tickets, what I'm hearing right now.
I mean, we can spin everything.
Right.
I'm for some reason it makes me feel uncomfortable to be like, it's probably not this, because I'm afraid that if I keep thinking that when I get bad news, it's going to hit me harder.
The thing is, if it is lymphoma, then they did catch it early. Then it grew into this thing and then it started to become lymphoma or something, because it hasn't spread to your lymph nodes yet.
Yeah, that is good news, and it is good news that I am healthy like everywhere else. And
Definitely.
I checked.
I've been reading lots of message boards, and they say surgeries go a lot better if you're healthy. They encourage.
Yeah, you can heal easier.
Surgery. I'm sorry?
You can heal easier if you're already in good, healthy when you go into surgery.
This is tough, though, because I have the flu right now. And Chemda's in the same room. Hey, boy.
By the way, after all of this, whatever happens, if it's cancer, if it's not cancer, if it's chemo, if it's surgery, when I get through this, I am fucking doing a triathlon, and you're all welcome to join me.
But you won't even run with us.
We can smoke the biggest blunt of your life. You're going to have so much more extra lung space. I'm like, we can, have a bowl of ice cream. She's like, I'm doing a triathlon. Of course.
Why not punish yourself? Yeah, I made it. Let me turn my face in a mud run.
Tell them how the running might have induced this.
Yeah, Libby's making up that.
No, you said. She said it might have made the cough worse, the running.
Maybe because I couldn't
they
breathe.
caught it early. Good news.
Oh,
You're
right.
welcome.
Libby saved Chemda's life.
Yeah. Thank you, Hennessy.
Looks like somebody's getting the projector.
I will tell you one thing, though. Oh, yeah, you can have all my shit. If anything happened to Chemda, I'm done anyway. You can take it all.
Oh, my God. So cute, because he's trying not to be dramatic, but drama will just come flying out of his eyeballs with tears, and it's so cute. He's just like, I just want you to know that I wish it was me. It's like this whole thing. I wish it was me. I would take it for you. I don't want you to go through this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's okay. I think you're going through it more than me right now.
Did you just imply that if Chemda died from this early, you would kill yourself?
Oh, I would wither away into nothing. So if you want to call it suicide, fine. But I'd.
If you want to be dramatic about it, Kate.
But you would do it in a sweet way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would wear Chemda's body around first, and then I'd kill myself.
I truly believe that.
We won't let that happen. Don't worry.
No.
Do you guys just...
waiting for the CAT scan, though, because the doctor came back and he's like, okay, so your lungs are totally clear. There's nothing going on in there. Those look fine. But we do see a mass up near your heart. So we want to check that out. And
so calm.
So, the time that we were waiting for the CAT scan, the time that she was in the CAT scan was it was 10 minutes, I guess. It was just 10 minutes. And then the hours after, waiting for the results, was some of the worst moments of my life.
The good news are your knees are fine. I know, doctor, but I'm here for my chest.
Well, what I didn't realize is that Hennessy, I was in the hospital for hours. And what I realized was, Hennessy was busy the whole time. And then I'm like, there's nothing to be busy with. But this at the end, after we're home, turns out he was taking cry breaks. Oh. Not in front of me, so that he's like, yeah, I'll just see where we could charge our phones, or I'll just go over here and check on something.
Yeah. No, I was doing those things. I just happened to be sobbing along the way.
We have to see, because I hear it's real good for pain. We have to find somebody that knows where to obtain marijuana. Could help you guys.
Oh yeah, everyone's jumping on my marijuana stash already. My medical shit.
Oh yeah,
that's another upside that Emmy came up with. Bright side Emmy. You
know
get a
how
prescription.
She's always the bright side.
That's what she's known for. Little Miss Sunshine.
Well, that's one of the things that made the night be a little bit easier to take after we were talking, because Uh-oh.
Oh, my, look at that.
might
That's
have some
Hennessy,
problems.
not Chemda.
They're right. Guys are
Oh,
the
sorry,
biggest
that's me.
babies, right?
No, he always takes on what I have. This is bad news.
It's true. No, it's true. I think I
But-
do.
But it was like the upside of this. So if it was benign, and if you do get it taken out, and if it is easy, then at least now you've been having problems, right? You've been having
Yeah.
pain for a while. You've been having lung issues for a while. But this
On
will
and
finally
off.
solve it, right? Like this. Hopefully, if they scoop it out in a best case scenario with a little,
be
I
a
imagine
whole
like
new
an ice
person.
cream scooper or something, and they just get that
A
thing out of there.
grapefruit spoon.
Right?
Oh yeah, Michael decides that he's sending me an ice cream scooper, like just an image of an ice cream scooper. Asks if it's okay if he names it. You know,
I think we do need to come up with a name for this mass. So we can't just keep calling it the mass.
It's
We have-
rude, right?
Yeah, right.
I've already started calling it to me.
To me.
To me, the tumor.
Yeah.
How good would it be though to be a survivor? That's up there with veteran nowadays.
I don't know how much do you want to do the show without me for a while.
Is it benign?
I already came up with ideas, by the way.
Of course she did.
Yes.
She's doing this walking from the 10 blocks from the Ramp Hospital to the other one. She's thinking, well, I might have to miss something. What if we call it Keith and the Girl's Brother?
Yeah, I got Keith and the girl's brother. I got Keith and a girl, and then we just keep switching a girl because like it's a good dynamic if you have like a female across from you. I got like a certain co-host situations. I got banking shows, and then doing it depending on what kind of, if I have to do chemo or something. I got
No,
it.
no. I already have it. Bottoms up with Keith and Hennessy.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go great.
It'll just be me explaining the show to him.
Every day for days.
Welcome, Keith. Now you've gone to hell with me.
Oh, and on top of that, the next day after I find this, I get my period.
Oh, that is some bullshit. That is not. If anyone wants proof that God isn't real,
Ah,
Well, maybe while the doctors are in there, they could scoop out a few extra things.
done.
Okay, right?
Hey, stop taking my surgery away.
It is kind of rude to women, right, to say God must be a woman. It's an insult to whatever gender you pick.
I mean, because then you think women don't exist, and that's not right.
Yeah, God must exist. That's all you got to say.
Are you into the same TV shows? Because this could be tough if it's got to be Chemda's Day for months.
Oh my God, he is so good about that. This poor thing. I'm like, could we watch Bitchin' Apartment 23 on loop for the next month?
Well, here's the thing. She'll be sleeping a lot, and that's when I get my documentaries.
Okay.
But we'll take suggestions for television shows that Chemda might have liked from the year 2000. So,
Lan, do I have a worse? I acted like a brat one time. Do you remember that? Or were there more? I don't know.
you know what? You're a princess, and no matter how you act, it doesn't even matter.
this is your
That's
day.
you need.
Yeah, she's not dying today, Hennessy.
This is every day. She's always a princess.
It's like, I'm going to make you
Queen
so
princess.
comfortable.
That's what I call her around the house.
What do you remember?
So he's in the Fringe, by the way, and so he was with me until he had to go do a show, and by the time he came back, I was probably spinning, and I couldn't breathe, and I was having issues, and like, I'm also in this like weird mental state, and I was like, I don't know, and I was just being bratty about nothing, and then I just like burst into crying, and then I'm like, oh, I probably needed to cry. Okay.
Awkward Sean.
Yeah, and then I burped her and changed her undies, and we were fine.
Awkward Sean from Michigan has a name for your tumor, Mickey Mass.
Yeah, but I don't like
Mickey
Disney.
massage.
Okay. All
No
right.
Disney references.
We'll workshop it.
Disney portrays me as a villain. No.
You do need to get a
Oh,
picture.
Libby had a good idea. Libby, what did she just perk up? I imagine she just perked up. I can't. see
You're
her.
watching the video. Fuck off.
I'm really not watching the video. I'm walking around the house.
What's my
talking.
great idea?
Is she
I
wearing a
upgraded it.
But let's change the topic real quick.
Next segment.
Okay, so Libby had this good idea that the surgeon does her surgery in the shape of a question mark, and then
And then
it
she has a
heals that way, and then
scar.
we skip the whole tattoo.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Ah?
Well, everything happens for a reason.
Is this
Lemonade.
cancer? I don't know.
Since it's on the girl, do we still get to put it in the count of keeping the girl tattoos?
Ah, that's funny. I'm going to say yes.
You are, again, you're making lemonade out of grapefruit. This is fantastic. Speaking of logos, that might change soon, right? You won't know who's who.
Oh, yeah. Emmy volunteered us.
You won't know who's who. What, you just take the hair off?
Yeah.
Emmy volunteered us to
hilarious.
shave our heads in solidarity. And I was like, speak for yourself.
Right.
Well, that was
Oh, yeah. Emmy's suggestion was we shave all of Libby's head except for the bangs.
that was awesome. I'm way into that.
I'm into that. It's worth going through a bout of cancer to see that.
Sure, you do it.
Oh, no.
I'm already. Well, it looks like I'm the only one who cares for Chemda.
Yeah, you're way ahead of
As
the game here.
usual.
That's right. That's right.
I did think like, okay, I'll lose all my hair, and I'm like, I guess I always wanted to feel what it was like to be bald. I'm like, positive things, like fuck it. I don't
Feel
know.
so free.
Sure, yeah. I would never shave off my head, but if I have to, I have to.
You're so funny. That's such a, yeah, it's true. She was like, well, I've lived a good life. And I'm like, wait a minute.
It wasn't that good. You've complained a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as you think. You still got a little more left.
Well, there was another thing. Hennessy, after he left, he was allowed to leave the house for the first time. On his way back, got recognized. And do you want to tell the story, or should I?
Sure. I got recognized outside of KATG, which is a show on Broadway, right? Not on Broadway, off Broadway, but they have so many subway ads you think it's on Broadway. Anyway, so KATG outside the West Side Theater. I'm hanging out there, drinking a nice coffee after my show, and I'm about to go
Set the
home.
scene.
And so
Is this
this
hold on one
This is all
second.
she's
pertinent.
like, Lauren,
Is this Hennessy or Kelly
Lauren
Festuca?
Hennessy? Wait, what happened? Did I say something stupid?
No, you were just setting a beautiful. You're doing great.
It was,
baby.
how many? Do you put milk in your iced coffee?
A whisper.
No, I don't have time for that.
Was there a lot of ice?
Finally got it. Okay, so you were. Someone says your name.
Okay, it was a venti, if you wanted to.
Did they say
So
Lauren
someone
or
says
Hennessy?
my name, and I'm like, look at what? And I'm holding all of my costumes, in a big clear costume bag. And she's like, hey, did you just do a show? I'm a fan of Keith and the girls. Like, I just wanted to say hi. I didn't want to bother you. And I'm like, oh, I did just do a show. That's awesome. You're not bothering me at all. It was really sweet. I think her name was, I think her name was Megan.
weird
She's
name.
the dresser for KATG. Now she's working for Paramore, which is on Broadway, which is Cirque du Soleil. Anyway,
How much are tickets about?
I just wanted to shout her out because she made my day, and she just went on about how much Chemda has helped her and through some difficult situations, and how she's always been like this kind of little Jimmy Cricket voice, for her, and she just loves her so much and to send her love and all this. And I'm
And
like,
she's glad that
what
Chemda
about
will be
me?
there for her forever.
Yeah.
And then that's when
How invincible she is.
So he's telling me this, and that's when I start crying. I'm like, okay, so I made an impact. I can die now. It's okay. I did things.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be remembered for something.
You touched one life. Good
Yeah.
job.
hmm Yeah, I'm not going to tell her I just made that up.
We'll keep it between us.
Why do you think there's so many details?
Thanks, Land. You've been awesome.
I love you so much, girl. You're always awesome.
All right, take care, Hennessy.
Okay, bye, guys.
Love you. Bye.
And so if you think your time on this earth is done, but you still have
No, I don't.
Shep
I don't really
and
think
Sheppy
that.
2 that's coming on the way. And
Nieces, nephews.
yeah.
Actually, that got to me. So my brother and his wife are about to. Well, one of them's about to give birth. I won't spoil it for you. And
The
so
other brother.
It'll be their second kid, and it's probably going to be around the time that I have to go into surgery. And so they're talking. So I'm on the 3-way call with both the brothers, and Andrew's going like, "Yeah, probably. Our parents will come over." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. They can fly 18 hours and like be on your side because you're having a baby." But for the past 20 years, they got nothing for me. And they're like, well, they're going to call you now. And I'm like, I'm going to hit end because I'm not picking up the call for these people. Because when I asked for help in the past, they shat all over me and made me feel like shit.
But that's not how you said it, though. That's not how you
How'd I
said
say
it.
it?
Yeah, what'd you say?
No, you do it.
No,
I don't-
tell
I
it
don't know
right.
what you
What
said. I don't
actually
know.
happened was
Fuck
I feel like I'm
them.
making fun of you, but it was a... I don't care what they said for 15 years. Whatever they want, they'll fight.
Right. She's having trouble breathing, in all fairness.
18 hours. So it was a little bit more like that.
It was very
Are-
dramatic.
You didn't ask them not to tell them, though? You don't
I
care?
think right away I told everybody that they can tell anybody they want because I feel like holding on to that information is unfair and people should be able to talk amongst themselves about how they feel without including me. So tell whoever you want.
The irony is, you hold that stuff in, you get cancer.
All right?
You ever hear that?
You got to remember, you can't hold it in. So otherwise, that's going to give you cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you and Andrew discuss who is going to tell them?
So yes,
Oh.
so we actually decided that we first want to find out
Yeah.
what's going to happen because right now we're all in limbo and this is torture. I don't know why you bothered telling me this before you have a full thing. This is awful.
I did think to not tell people, but I do know that this is a thing already. I'm not telling you and then, it's just going to go away. I am going to have to take off work. I am going to go through something. I just don't know what.
Yeah, so that's helpful. And so we're gonna wait, and we're gonna wait to find out because a biopsy, man, we're talking 2 weeks until we
Yeah.
find this out, right?
Yeah, mhm.
2 weeks from probably not even. Wait, you get it on this Thursday, and
then
then
it's 5 to
probably not
7.
till that.
Yeah.
And if it's business days, like we said, then it might be the following Monday.
God
right?
forbid it falls on Labor Day weekend.
Jesus Christ!
We're going to have to go to the Hamptons for my results.
The doctor.
So you're waiting for the biopsy results?
That makes sense.
So we're gonna wait till so then we actually know what it is. Is it serious? Is it not? Is it something that it will just be removed and it has a really good prognosis, or this is So we have more to talk about as opposed to
Where
just
they have to
endless
fly in
speculation.
just for me, not because they're on their way home from their other grandkid. You already had a kid, Andrew.
Would
Yeah, big whoop.
This
it's
is
just a
second one.
sequel,
This is my first cancer scare.
and usually sequels aren't better than the first ones, right?
Oh my God. I can't.
I don't know. There was Terminator 2, so that was okay, but we don't know. It doesn't usually work out okay.
Shout out to my beautiful San Francisco family.
What happens now, though? They find out it's benign. They take it out. It's not a big deal. Ooh. Then everybody cried for nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like we don't know
Yeah,
what's going
I'm
on.
going to just go ahead and say it's a big deal.
All right.
And also, even if it is benign, something about I don't know. I'm gonna go through it. But if you guys want to feel like I'm not, that's fine. We could wait for the results. You can wait 2 weeks before you feel bad.
Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Do you?
And everything I've been saying, not just today, but over all these years, about doctors not knowing what they're doing, I take it all back. Of course they know what they're doing. They're brilliant, and that's why they're so rude. Because if you had so much smarts, you wouldn't have time for empathy.
Is that what my problem is?
Don't worry, you guys. I'm worried about doctors. We could keep talking about that, about how like my life is in someone else's hands and they could fuck up and they're only human and they have fucked up and here are all the times that they fucked up. We can talk about that.
I bet
Just
another,
thought this is funnier. You know what I mean?
I think another doctor gave it to you.
I was very happy that I did not give myself this cancer. I was like, everything that I did not give this to me.
What does that mean?
Like, you can give yourself cancer. They were like, this has nothing to do with anything
You
that
mean
you
smoking?
do.
Lifestyle
or-
choices or
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That I remained healthy on my own, and this happened to me. I did not do this to me.
Well, this is probably then genetics, and then it's mom and dad that gave it to you.
I mean, yeah. On brand.
Just package it up. We ask them to keep it. We cannot not have this thing floating in formaldehyde. Whatever they pull out of you has got to be in a jar somewhere.
Actually, I was going to have them video record it because I know you like to watch that stuff.
That would be fucking awesome. That,
I want him to cut it open and count the rings so we can know how old it is.
Yeah.
right?
And see if it started when you started smoking weed.
But am
Actually,
I,
they
She asked
mentioned
about that, right?
Yeah. I said, I smoke weed, and they're like, this has nothing to do with weed. And I was like, what if I continue smoking weed? And they're like, they don't want to, because it's not fully legal. They're like, we can't tell you to smoke weed, but please do what you do.
And Chemda said, "What if I smoke right now?"
I said that. I was like, if I go home and smoke, and I couldn't
No,
anyway.
I mean in the hospital.
Oh,
And
but I said,
what if I go to the
I
bathroom?
already rolled it.
Right.
But I said, and they were like bigger advocates than I was. I was like, wow, you're really super okay with this. I'm like, I roll it in tobacco papers though. Is that going to be a problem? They're like, oh, you mean blunts? No, oh, it's not my favorite kind of way, but this is not what's causing your thing.
Who's your doctor, Doobie Hauser? Every laugh it could kill her, but it's worth it. I need people to enjoy
Wouldn't
themselves.
that be a pretty good, though, like a nice little, like it would be sad if you died, but you're the one that made her laugh so hard that it's like,
That's everyone's goal now. Just kill me.
And then I give one of those speeches, and I'm like, I'm not here to make anybody laugh. Wink. I just want to say this is very sad. The end. Danny Hatch, his Twitter account is at Danny Hatch. He's the host of That's the Show with Danny. All right? Is now the time we have to mention that, Danny? Really? All right.
and he's always looking for opportunities to promote himself.
So callous.
Libby Phillips has her new show, of course, Wrap It Up. You can check her out at libbypr.com and the Twitter account, Raging Apathetic.
Love it.
The opposites. I love that name very much. Michael is working on our Keith and the Girl app, and apparently the timetable has just been moved up greatly.
Any updates on the
Gotta
app?
get this out. So when I first started writing this app, I was doing regular videos releasing, showing the progress of the app, and then all of a sudden it went silent, and I got sidetracked. But the reason I got sidetracked was because I started writing an app for our brother Andrew's Mixergy app, and so I was writing that, and the apps are very similar to each other. So I was putting in resources to get that done because he was pouring resources into that, which was very helpful to get that piece done. And then when
Thanks,
that's
Andrew.
done, yeah, that was really helpful because there are a lot of pieces that I was going to have trouble getting done if it wasn't for the resources that Mixergy has to help me finish. And once that app is done, which I should have done in a couple of weeks, I
Like,
can then...
including business days?
I'm not
Weekends?
holding myself to that. I'm not going to hold myself to that. That's my stretch moment. But once that hits the App Store, then I'll be able to then take all those extra pieces that I built for Mixergy, and there are a lot of the same pieces, and then port them back into the Keep the Girl app and finish it off. But for the most part, the app, you guys saw the app the last time we had a meeting.
It's amazing.
It functions really well, and so we're close to it. There's just some under the hood things that I have to work on, like the downloads, the way the downloads come while the app is shut off, and a couple of other technical things like that. But we're towards the finish line with the Mixergy app. When the Mixergy app hits the store, you know I really hit, like I'm close. Cause then
We're
it's
just behind Mixergy?
You're just behind
Okay.
Mixergy.
All right.
So,
That's
so
cool.
it's a little way to gauge the progress.
That's fine. He's
The
a year and a
cancer
half.
card doesn't bump her up in
Right.
the line.
Hey, it's me, Andrew. I stubbed my toe.
I just want to say that I was actually working on the app before while you were texting me to come do the show. So if you weren't going to bother me about this show, I would have been able to. So if you want to keep having your cancer interfere with the app being produced, then go ahead. I was also working on the app the night you called me. What am I working on? I was working on the app then.
Such a troublemaker.
Those were hours I could have gotten into doing the app. So if you want to just, get over this real quick.
Next time I'll come to you. Like, while you're going to get a soda, let me just drop this real quick.
All right. Well, Chemda,
Yes.
you know I care for you, right?
It shows.
All right, good.
This is a good conversation about it if I didn't know.
We covered that, etc. And that's that. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. More
Hey,
on.
my thing is at Chemda. It's at Chemda.
Oh, wait a second.
Follow us on Keith and the Girl. Get the VIP goddamn program, keithandthegirl.com/VIP. Thank you for all your support over these years. I'll see you guys.
On the other side.